Will, why BCX disrupt?
Because you don't have an Amazon here. There is no Google of Africa yet. It's a brand new world. And just think of all the wonderful things that are going to come from this continent in the next 10 years. So we've seen what China has contributed, and they've played an amazing part of how we communicate and the tools that we communicate on. We've seen what America has done, but the Southern Hemisphere hasn't contributed yet. And it's going to be amazing when you do. Somebody is dreaming that's 15 years old. Somebody is trying to solve a problem right now, and they're about to do it. And they just need a couple of pushes and nudges to dare to compete with the giants. It's about time that folks here in this continent aim to tackle a giant.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. How do you engage and how do you deal with these corporates that come up to you and say, hey, well, we need some of your creativity, we need some of your advice?
The reason why they ask a person like me to come and consult, or because there's fear there. Every single entrepreneur has one thing in common. Whether you're Elon Musk or little Bill Gates or little Steve Jobs or Jimmy Iovine, is fearlessness. I can't wait to fall on the floor and get my hands bloody to get back up, because I'm never gonna fall like that again. And I can't wait to trip on the next thing, because you ain't ever gonna trip me again. And then you have those like, oh, maybe we shouldn't run, how about if we fall? Maybe we should slow down, like, then the lawyers fuck it all up for innovation. Anticipating like, hey, you're gonna scuff your knees. People don't wanna see scuffs. Actually, people like scuffs. My research shows that if you get scuffed, people are like, oh man, I like you. They like to see raw. They like to see the human in things. But then for some reason we get cold and rigid and become less human when money comes in. And that is when companies should be afraid.
What is the advice will.i.am can give to people to innovate in the world that we're living in today?
The telcos, your competitor is not who you think your competitor is. Your competitor is the person that you are ignoring. And it looks like me, it looks like somebody's niece, right? So a telco tomorrow, a bank tomorrow, could be someone's AI company and reimagines finance, trade. Everything is up for grabs. Every single person is on the same pole position. Just because you have billions of dollars in the bank does not guarantee your future. Ask Nokia. Ask Motorola. They thought their competitor was Nokia. And then Apple said, you guys are all wrong. You guys didn't even think that we made phones. Apple wasn't even in the phone business. And now they have the best phone in the world, and you do more on your phone than you ever did on a computer or a regular dial-up. So you want to empower your potential competitors. You want to make sure that the people that are going to be competing with you, you enabled. You want to educate. You want to support and pick up the forgotten. If you have billions of dollars in the bank, if you want to be around tomorrow, empower the little people.
What's your take on artificial intelligence and the way we are? Is it something that scares you? What's your take?
I see AI as a new frontier for communication, and it's going to bring about human excellence. It's going to allow us to save time, and new jobs will come. It's like the new internet. The internet took up all my time to search. AI is going to allow my data to become a magnet and attract things that are synonymous to my data behavior. Because I don't have the time to go out and search the world for all the information that's going to allow me to go out there and live a wonderful, healthy life. So I need some type of data scientist, and I can't afford a data scientist, but my AI could be that for me. I couldn't afford a chauffeur, now I do. It's called Uber. I wanted to have a house everywhere, but now I do. It's called Airbnb. In the future, a company is hardware and software and content. The whole idea of going to some ad agency or marketing firm to do your talking for you, that's old school. That's yesterday. And if you don't believe me, ask Netflix. Here is a movie company that has no movie theaters and makes original content like Stranger Things that's better than the stuff that they license from movie studios. So if you don't think entertainment, content, services, products, solutions all needs to come from one company, then you are a yesterday company. And you need to stay in yesterday.
Wow. You talk about this continent and the great things that are going to come out of this continent, but I want to hear about your ability to encourage young people to learn code, and you talk about STEM. Tell us about that.
It breaks my heart that all the time there's like some natural disaster or some, communities left behind. They're all waiting for somebody to come and save them. And they raise a whole lot of money, and it never gets to the people. And we see this time and time and time again, especially here in this continent. And Africa has everything it needs to get out of what it's been in for, centuries with a STEM skill set. Because with the STEM skill set, you're not waiting for anybody. As a matter of fact, it equips you to disrupt everybody. Right? So all you have to do is discipline the youth, encourage them to dream big, become scientists, become technicians, become engineers and mathematicians. But don't do it to be geeks. Do it to be artists. And instead of an artist using a paintbrush, use technology to execute your art. Instead of being an artist and using a keyboard, use math to execute your art. Use science to execute your art. So people say science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics as if you're going to start teaching people robotics and then you have some painting. No, get that painting out of the way. Teach them to be artists and entrepreneurs with these skill sets that are fill jobs and create jobs tomorrow. You don't have to wait for anybody because it's just going to be an ongoing loop, right? It's a new fourth industrial revolution in 1917. This continent was not a part of the conversation that changed the world. If this was 1817, this continent was not a part of the conversation. It was a resource in 1617 and 1717. Now, it could be the problem solvers moving forward.
And it's something that needs to be interwoven into the school system.
Into the family first.
Family first, okay.
It starts with family mamas telling their little kids on all the potentials, and the neighbors helping the mamas. It takes a village, and if the village is pushing, regardless if you have it in the school system, you don't have to wait for the school system. The school system is also part of the problem. You need to disrupt all that shit. Fuck that. I'm taking my community back.
Yeah. And I think it's amazing.
And the problem solvers come in any shape, form, color, size. Innovation is not prejudice anymore. Opportunity and tomorrow thinking is not racist anymore.
Where are we going to be in 10 years? I know it's difficult to predict 10 years. You can't even predict 3 years from now.
Thinking and fast forward, it's going to an amazing place. The reason why people are clueless of where it's going, because they don't know where to go. So because I know where to go and go into inner cities and underprivileged communities and equip them with tomorrow's skill sets, I know where it's going. New thinkers are going to dream on top of AI and create jobs that we can't even imagine today. That's where it's going. But it's going to take a whole different squad of entrepreneurs that don't look like today's entrepreneurs. Tomorrow's entrepreneurs look like me, they look like you, they look like her, they look like her, a lot more hers than he's.
I love it. I love it.